A lot of people have heard of storage wars and storage auctions. If you don't pay your bill on your storage unit after about 3 months, typically, the property of the items becomes the property of the storage facility. So you lose your stuff. They, in turn, hire an auction house to come and sell your stuff to the highest bidder. Well, lo and behold, there are a lot of storage facilities who do not participate in storage auctions. So the one that I am currently at, if somebody does not pay their bills, they don't hire an auction house, they stick it all in a dumpster that is free for all of us to rummage through. I have gotten pallets full of things that were right from the dumpster that somebody unfortunately lost access to. So if you're looking for ways to find stuff to resell, check your local storage unit, ask them, do you participate in auctions? If not, try it out.
We are on our way to a storage auction. Yeah. I'll show you what's there and let you know if we buy anything.
Gonna be a bunch of junk.
Probably.
Yep.
Real quick.
I'm not going back.
Here was the unit. Nobody bid on it. So to the trash it goes. All right. So didn't grab that unit at the last one, but we are on our way to another one. They said they have 10 units.
That's a good thing. Take in the eight.
And this one sold for $5. See here.
$5 going twice. It's sold for $5. I'll cover it up with
This unit went for $25 as shown here.
25. Going twice. I wrote it down. 25.
This one was next and it only got $30.
19 is 10 by 30.
We bid this one up a bit, but didn't get it.
It's sold for $150. All right, 6, 7. Whoa.
This one brought $10. The next one went for $20. This unit went for $25. And here's another angle of it. This one had a heavy-duty work table and a toolbox in the back left. You couldn't quite see. Went for $275. This one also went for $275, and there was a washer and dryer in the back left. Last one of the day, $25.
I'm interested in this.
This one, guys, looks like a little better unit. Bunch of Milwaukee stuff and tools and whatever. You tell me, 500 for it. $500 bid. 500 will make me 200 to go on it. 200 should be well worth that. 300. 300 bid. 300. 300. Now 400. 400. It's only money. 400. 304. About 3.5. 350. 3.5. Well worth it. 350. Now 400. 400. Go down 4.5. 4.5. 450. Now 500. 500. 5.5. 550. 5.5. 550. 550. A lot of tools in there. 550. 500. 550. Now 600. 600. 600. 600. 550. Now 600. 556. 600. Believe it would. 600. 550. 600. 550. Now 600. 600. 550. Now 600. 550. 500. 500. 550. 600. About 575. Let's get it. 565. Now 600. Even money. 600. 575. 6. 600. 6. It's only $25 more. 600. 575. 600. Don't look at her. Look at me. 575. 600. You'll be out of the doghouse tomorrow. 575, 600, 600, 575, now 600, 600, 575, 600. Well worth it, guys. Bill, 575, 600, 575, 600. Last call on it. 575, now 600, 600.
It is my absolute dream to own a horse someday, and we are bidding on this unit that has all sorts of horse tack. We only have like less than an hour left to bid. Somebody is actively bidding against us, so I'm really, really hoping that we can keep the bids down so we can actually win. It's 3 hours from home, so it's going to be quite a drive, but I'm hoping it will be worth it, and I'll be able to finally own some tack. Talk about cart before the horse. Fingers crossed, like and subscribe.
Somebody paid $500 for a storage unit. Inside was a safe nobody could open on the first try. When a second specialist finally cracked it, what was sitting inside added up to $7.5 million in actual cash. Not collectibles, not IOUs, just stacks of bills that had apparently been sitting there the entire time nobody was paying attention to that unit. Dan Dotson, the auctioneer best known from Storage Wars, is the one who confirmed the details after word got out. And almost as soon as the discovery went public, a lawyer representing the original renters reached out wanting it back. The first offer was $600,000 for the return of the $7.5 million. When that got turned down, it climbed to $1.2 million. The buyer eventually took the deal, and by most accounts, that was the smart move, not just financially, but for their own safety, since nobody's ever fully explained why that much cash was sitting in a defaulted storage unit in the first place.
I won this storage unit at auction for only $10. This dusty unit had a few boxes, but it was mostly full of antique furniture. Underneath all of the dust, the furniture looked to be in good condition. We found a couple porcelain figurines in one box, and a flight attendant training manual from the 1960s in another. Aside from that, the boxes were filled with random papers and sentimental items. We hauled that and any other junk furniture to the dump. The rest of the stuff in here was all wooden antique furniture. This beautiful king bed frame was one of the nicest pieces in here. After a light cleaning, we listed and had it sold within a few weeks. Also found an adorable little rocking chair that sold quick. This dining room table was nice, but it was a generic set. Admittedly, I was a little rough while moving it, but we still sold it no problem. This matching cabinet and vanity were gorgeous, but they took forever to sell. We dropped the price several times, but ended up accepting $150 for each one. This last piece we decided to give away for free, mostly because it was ridiculously heavy. Fortunately, somebody picked it up straight from the unit. We'll rate this one a 7.7 out of 10. On to the next one.
Crack this open for everyone. Let's see. Wow.
Whoa, look at the dust. Get the footage of this dust that just came off this door.
Dude, look at this, Greg.
Dude,
You know that there's gold in here.
you know the cobwebs here are fucking 30 years old plus.
Look how thick that is, for real.
Yeah. That's a few.
And the crazy thing is accumulating in a steel box storage unit. Like, where did the
where's it
dust
coming
even
from?
come? It's coming from the stuff in the
It
boxes.
gets blown. No, it gets
Oh,
blown
blown
up
under
and
the
goes
door.
over up here, I guess.
Gotcha, from the
Yeah,
storms
That's
here.
the only way it could get in there like that. You're going to be blown away that this is even true.
No way. This is wrapped up. What is this, a vase?
Maybe we'll just pull that
Let's
off.
go
like that.
easy on. You know what
This
this
can
is?
go. No, I have no
I think this
idea.
is a lamp top, dude.
A lamp
I know it's. Look at this. I can see the hole in the bottom. This is like a Tiffany's lamp glass top,
from like the
From,
4th
like-
century. Wow, look at that.
dude.
You don't get
Do you
that
have your
quality.
flashlight? We gotta light this thing up from beneath.
I do actually. Hold on. Show it in full effect.
Look at the lions' faces in this thing. You've got a lion in the jungle, an Indian, looks like poachers hunting. You've got a guide on camels. I mean, this is
you
pretty
just hit
wild.
that little blue button one time.
Let's light this thing up if we can. Is it light illuminating from the back?
A little bit, yeah.
It's pretty thick. But you know what?
This is pure gold, though. Let's see if it works. That's the top right there. Does it work? Oh, what? Not only does the top work, but the top and the bottom work. This is the masterpiece of the storage unit. This is it right here. This is the only item we needed to get to pay for that unit times 3. So anything else would just be profit on top of it. You really only need just that one item. Wow.
I'm not here to make this sound like every storage auction ends in a windfall, because it doesn't. Not even close. Most units are exactly what you'd expect. Old furniture, water-damaged boxes of books, a broken lamp nobody wanted enough to keep paying rent on. Experienced flippers who do this for a living say a solid average return sits around 2 to 3 times what you paid, with the occasional big win covering for a string of losses. Cash safes like this one are the exception people talk about for years, precisely because they almost never happen. What's easy to skip over in a story this flashy is why that unit went up for auction in the first place. Storage companies don't want to run these sales. Every facility explains it the same way. This is what happens after someone stops paying rent, and every attempt to reach them or work something out has failed. The typical timeline runs 30 to 90 days of missed payments before a unit ever hits the auction block, and more than 80,000 of these auctions happen across the country every single year.
The storage business, the way it works is rent is due on the 1st. It's late on the 5th. By the 6th, we're locking your unit. If you can see these red locked in my facility here, they haven't paid rent yet. In order for them to gain access to their stuff, they have to pay me rent. So after the 6th, we put red locks on. By the 16th, we're sending letters out saying, hey, we are going to start the process of auctioning your items away. By the 20th, also on the 16th, you have to put a post in the newspaper. By the 23rd, you have to put a second post in the newspaper. And then at that point, you just have to schedule the auctioneer to come out. And one of the lamest things I've been a part of. But after that auctioneer auctions it off, you have a unit that if hopefully someone bought the belongings. If not, then that means your facilities manager cleans it out and you can put a green tag, which you probably can see it, and then you're ready to rent that unit. That's a total of about 27 to 28 days. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to connect, reach out in the links below.
Have you ever wondered what happens to your stuff when you move it into a storage unit and you don't pay the bill? So after so long of not paying that bill, your lock's going to get cut off. We're going to open it, take nice, cute little pictures, and we're going to put it on this website. So what I've been wanting to do is bid on them. So let me show y'all some examples of, what's on this website. Look at that, baby. $40. Somebody finna have some shoes. Then look at this. Let me go down. $50. Look at all that stuff up in there. $50. And then it goes back. Baby, a whole couch up in there. Living room set. Look like a patio set. Washer and dryer. You got your pillows. Look at that. Mattress in the back. $50, baby. I might need to watch this one. Is it close to me? It's a little far. But look at this stuff on here. $40. Look at all that. Cause what's in these boxes? Look at it. So that is what happens when you do not pay your bill when you move your stuff into a storage unit. It gets put on these websites and people get to bid on it.
I used to do overnight inventory for a chain of storage facilities. And not like the front office stuff, more of like the back units. The ones that are locked, the ones where people use them to basically forget things exist. They have no cameras inside, nothing like that. Most nights were pretty boring, just clipboard, flashlight, marking units, that kind of a thing. There was one specific facility that they sent me to just one time a month. And it was just past town. There was no streetlights, no other buildings, literally just stacks of metal doors. So before my shift started, my manager pulled me in and he said, don't look inside any of the units that have a red sticker on them. Just mark them as verified. I just kind of assumed it was legal stuff, delinquent holds, evidence holders, that kind of a thing. Around 1:30 a.m., I came across my first red sticker storage unit. And I just kind of marked it off of my list. And it was unit 317. And I started to walk away. And that's when I heard it. It was a thud on the inside. I just kind of froze and I waited. And then I heard something else. It was like something hit the wall, like something's weight shifted against the metal. I told myself maybe it was an animal or just something falling over. And then that's when I heard a voice. And it was very soft and it just said, hello. I dropped my flashlight and I just stood there trying to convince myself that what I heard wasn't real. And then I heard another soft whisper saying, is anybody there? And it sounded a little desperate. I ran back to the office and I told my manager, and he didn't seem very surprised. And he just said, did you open the unit? And I said, no. And he said, okay, just mark it as verified on your list and continue on. I should have left right then, but I needed this job so bad. So I kept going, and every single red sticker unit that I passed that night made a noise. Scratching, whispering, soft crying. By the time I had finished, it was about 4 a.m., and I went back to the office, shaking a little bit because all your mind can do is question what's inside of those units. And I noticed that there was a new sheet of paper, and it was marked from all of the red sticker units, and there was a name on each of them. Next to each red sticker unit was a person's name. I recognized one name on there specifically, Unit 317. It was my name, and it was set for next month. Next month's inventory. I immediately quit. About a week later, I drove past the facility again just to convince myself that everything was normal. People were moving things back and forth. Everything seemed okay. I went inside and I asked a lady about Unit 317, and she said, "We don't have a Unit 317. And I said, "Yes, you do, because I saw it when I was working here. I've been inside of it. I had literally heard somebody inside of this unit." And so she just turned the map of the units towards me, and it did skip. It went from 316 to 318. There was no 317 on her unit map. 2 nights ago, I got a call from a blocked number. I almost didn't answer it, but I did. It was a long silence, and then it was a voice, soft, very weak, and it just said, "Hello." It was me.
80,000 a year isn't a small number, and it's climbing for the same reason everything else in this series keeps climbing. People fall behind on rent for a 10 by 10 unit the same way they fall behind on a car payment or a daycare bill, because the money simply isn't stretching the way it used to. A storage unit is usually one of the first things to go when a household is choosing what to keep current, which means every auction is, in some quiet way, evidence of somebody's hard year.
It, putting it into the storage containers, illegally selling it as a lien unit. That's not a lien unit. That's just garbage.
I understood that part.
Okay, so here's what he's done. So in July 23rd, he had an auction in here. There's all the gun cases I got. There's the deer I got. This is all staged in here on his tables. You can see all this on his Facebook page, HTF Auctions. Here's the bow I got. Here's the TV I got. So what he did is then he lists it as a lien unit. Now, you're probably not very versed in lien law, but for him to have a lien unit, he has to have an actual person who is leasing that container. That person then goes into lien law. He has to put in public notice for that person to pay all their back fees. This is 3 months process, okay, at a minimum in Ohio. The next week, he puts this up for auction on Storage Treasures, which is a selling platform. He lists it as a lien unit, which is illegal what he's doing. I've already been to the Department of Agriculture and turning him in there as well. So now you go, okay, did I get what was in the unit? Yes. Did I get what was legally said? No. What he did was illegal. This is the deer. It's all garbage. There's the bow. The exact same wrapping. All garbage. All garbage. He stages it to make you think that you're getting something that's actually worth something, which we buy storage units all over the world.
So when you say garbage, the bow doesn't work, and there's nothing in the cases.
It's correct. It's everything he didn't sell in here.
Was there anything in the description of that posting that said that there was something in those cases, or that everything was in working order?
That doesn't matter.
Well,
that doesn't.
I
What
understand
matters
you're
is he illegally sold it.
Sir.
I know you're trying to keep the conversation. He illegally sold it as a lien. Okay.
I understand the lien part.
He did not.
There are other issues potentially with him misrepresenting what's in the storage unit.
So
which
no,
I'm trying to ask him.
He did not. So here's the pictures from the storage unit. Here's all the gun cases. He took all of the hunting gear. This is all garbage boxes and garbage totes. As you see all of this here, what he doesn't sell, he then hid it behind all of the hunting gear. Here's the deer back here. And so he lists this as a lien unit. He does not state anything except it's a lien unit. And what he told me on film is, oh, no, we don't know anything. We don't put anything, which I have, it's on that phone, 6 minutes of me telling him, you stage this unit. There's multiple families, garbage. You stage it. He's, no, my wife. He's such a coward. He blamed it all on his wife. That's how big of a coward he is.
Well, you're telling me there's a problem with the lien law. He's listing it illegally.
All right.
Which I'm happy to.
All right, let's
look
talk
into.
about lien
So
law.
I just want to understand where I can direct me in the right path,
Okay,
so that I can get the result you want.
When you rent a storage facility, okay, you rent a storage facility,
A unit.
you don't pay. Okay, so all of a sudden you're renting it, you don't pay.
Okay.
All right, now that falls under lien law.
All right.
He can put a lock on it. He locks you out.
Okay.
Then he has to give public notice. That has to be for over a month. Well, actually a month. Public notice for a month. It's like a 3-month process before he can even put anything up for auction.
So you're saying it wouldn't be a mistake that he listed it as a lien. It's just
no, that is the mistake.
No,
100% what he did illegal.
It was
right. But
intentional.
I'm saying what you're saying is that he's okay. So there's a whole process for it to be listed as a lien.
Yes.
That you're saying he's clearly not taking.
He's clearly intentionally
So
manipulating people and stealing from them. He is not taking, because it's not lien. It's all of his garbage from his auctions that he didn't sell.
okay, so you're saying this isn't other people's property that's being lien. This is just his stuff that he's throwing in there, and that's where the duping is coming from.
Correct. Were you able to get my money?
We've been watching this 5x5 storage unit for 8 freaking days, and today's the day the auction is finally over. Now, the reason we want to win this one, it's a 5x5. It's only like 10 minutes from home, 5 minutes from a thrift store if we have donations to drop, $0 cleaning deposit, and we can see right away that there's a Kirby vacuum right over there hiding in the picture. Kirby is a great brand. We've never found one, but that's what that is. Plus, we can see those suitcases that are screaming 90s. It looked like Gemini was saying it was Jaguar brand. I don't know, but it looks old and it makes us go old lady storage unit. Jam-packed with very cool vintage things that we would want. But we don't want to just throw away our money. So we stayed firm at $210 until somebody outbid us. So we bumped it up to $250, of course. But we were firm at $250. We really didn't want to throw any more money into this unit. So when we maxed our bid out at $310, we couldn't do it again. Which of course meant that they won the unit. Our ops, our competition, for $10 more than our max bid at $320. So yay for them. Clap your hands. Great for them.
Full credit to the auctioneers and everyone who documented this one, because stories like this only spread because someone was filming when it happened. Shout out to Dan Dotson specifically for confirming the details publicly, and all the sourcing on this is linked below if you want to dig into it yourself.
It's like a lot to clear out. Okay, we didn't get shit. We got nothing. The unit was disgusting and it smelled like a rotten, I don't know, dead animal. Pice.
This is both frustrating and actually a good thing because the people can get their stuff back. It's frustrating for us because we don't have product to sell then, but it's good for them because they're getting their stuff back. They've actually made good on their promise to pay. I've had it happen several times. Sometimes it's after the auction has ended. Like sometimes they cancel. Other times it's after the auction has ended and the owner of the unit beats me to the facility. So there are times I sit out in the facility parking lot and I bid on stuff because I'm not going to let that happen again if I really, really want it. But we have so many units in our area that I just move on to the next one. So sorry, it sucks for you, but it's great for them. It is part of the business, though. I wish you well.
$7.5 million is the headline, but the real story underneath it is that 80,000 auctions a year is a number that keeps climbing precisely because more households are falling behind on the small monthly payments that used to feel automatic. That's the part worth sitting with after the shock of the safe wears off. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Full credit to the original sources, links in the description. And if this is the kind of thing you want to stay ahead of, that's what we cover here at Economy Undertow. So subscribe and I'll see you in the next video.